Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your boy G. As you can see, it's me and Tony Kimmons. Tony Kimmons and I go all the way back to college. She's from Memphis, Tennessee, just like me. And you went to Douglas or Northside?
Douglas.
Douglas. All right, you went the same school DP went to.
Yes.
Nice. Okay, so and Tanya's an educator. She's spent her whole career as an educator, and not an indoctrinator, but an educator.
Okay, thank you.
And she saw me post about my Zoom today for musicians, and I posted it knowing that by noon nobody would be here. I knew it. But I'm shocked that Tony's here because Tony's just an educator. She wants to be educated, right?
Mm-hmm. Right, absolutely.
And I got some information. Now, so first of all, a lot of musicians are complaining right now because Snoop says something about Spotify, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it makes sense. How can I do 1 billion streams from my music and not make $1 million? So a lot of people don't realize how big 1 billion is. 1 billion is a huge number. If you got paid $1,000 a day, it would take you 32 years to get to 1 billion. If you made $1,000 a day, it would take you 13 years if you made 5,000 a day. So the problem is not Spotify, Napster, none of that stuff. Yeah, I know. Yeah, Antonio Williams graduated from Douglas. I remember that. Yep.
Right. Uh-huh.
So, who's a musician, by the way. Another thing, too, let me say this, too. A lot of musicians that I know, that I grew up with, no longer consider themselves musicians. They may have played in high school, they may have played in college. They maybe got out of college and, mess around a little bit, but they don't consider themselves musicians anymore. That's just not me. I am a musician. I've done many things for work, but I am a musician. This is who I am. I didn't decide to be a musician. Music decided to take me, right? So, but I've been pretty fortunate to be able to do some things in the music industry in spite of how it's set up. So speaking of how it's set up, here's the problem. Music is what it is. It's an art form. Just like painting, just like sculpture, just like dancing, acting, art. However, the monetization, the commercialization of art is where the whole thing goes awry. That's just real. Art was never designed to be commercialized or monetized. Art was designed to share beauty with the world, period. But because we live in a monetary system and a capitalist system, understand how the system works. And once you understand how the system works, then you understand it was never designed for you to get rich. The music industry was never designed for a musician to make money. No, it was designed for the industry people to make money, the companies. So that explains first why you're not rich, whoever you are. I don't care who you are. And even if you look at it and say, well, Prince got rich. No, Prince made money. Warner Brothers got rich. He made more money than you, but he didn't get rich. And he definitely didn't get wealthy. It's a big difference. If you don't believe me, well, it just is what it is. And I'm just using Prince as an example because he happened to be a mega superstar, iconic artist that I happen to know. right? And have some personal dealing with. But the way he did business was how he was taught to do business. That's why everybody who worked with Prince ended up mad at Prince at some point. Because he only did how he was taught, right? You do a song, let's take me. And I can speak on this. I'm a Grammy Award winner. There it is, right next to my beautiful son. There's my Grammy certificate. I don't keep a statuette, because the statuette went to the person who I wrote the songs with. But the Grammy went to me. Grammy, that's a Grammy. That's a statuette. Thank you. It represents that. Now, with that said, I mean, it's just information. But as a songwriter, I have written and have produced and performed probably 15 to 20 songs. In my life, I've published 15 to 20 songs. The majority of those songs came in the last 5 years. The first few came on Jimmy Vaughn's album that won a Grammy, and Jimmy ain't made no money yet. I made a little bit, but Jimmy didn't make any. Why? Because he was the artist. Record companies rape you. And for many, many years, artists were talking about, I need a deal. I need to go get a deal. Let's go get a record deal. Well, it's interesting the word deal is used, ironically, because no deal involved, except the deal's for them. So, but you go get a record deal, they give you, say, $100,000. That's a small, super small deal, even back when Little Richard was performing. $100,000, you owe them that $100,000. And you owe them that until they get their money. You don't make a dime. So imagine somebody saying to you, you got to come work for me at FedEx. And you got to work 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, night shift, right? But the moment you sign your name on the dotted line saying you get the job, we're going to give you a uniform to wear every day. You have to change it every day. And that uniform, that whole set of uniforms costs $100,000. And in order to work at FedEx, you got to wear that uniform every day. If you put it on anywhere else other than at FedEx, we're going to charge you $100 every day. So you wearing this FedEx uniform, you with FedEx, everybody like, man, you with FedEx, cool, man, you got a deal, right? But you owe FedEx $100,000 and you working your ass off every day to try to get that $100,000 paid off so you can start making some money. Let me give you another example. I worked for the last job I had. I was working for a company called, I forget the name, it doesn't matter what it's called. It's a headhunter, right? Help people get jobs. All right. So from the outside, it sounds like a cool job. You're helping people pay their bills. You're helping people get employment, right? For those who choose to be employees, right? In other words, 95% of the population. So you're trying to help 95% of the population pay their bills by virtue of getting a job. Getting that job, I realized after I had it, I'm like, wait a minute. Okay, so it was a fully virtual job. They sent me a laptop, headphones, headset mic, all this stuff, right? And then they had 2 pieces of software that you had to pay for every month. And they paid you a draw against your commission. In other words, they paid you $17 an hour against your commission. A lot of people would love to work for $17 an hour, so they take that job. So you take the job, and I'm thinking, okay, if I get in a field like some medical or professional field, and I place somebody in a job and they're making $250,000 a year, I'll make some okay money, right? Okay. First of all, you don't make a whole lot of money at all, and second of all, every month that they pay you that draw goes against whatever their future commission is, and sometimes it takes 2 or 3 months to get somebody hired, because you got to go find the person looking for a job. Then you got to go talk to the companies that are hiring somebody and talk them into working with you. And then you got to talk that person into sticking around long enough for you to get them a job. Then you got to talk to that person and stop trying to find the same resume you got. And then once you get everybody together and you put them together, they may not even like each other. Then you got to start all over again. So that took 3 months of $17 an hour. Month 4, you get a deal signed. Deal would have paid you $4 grand. Well, nope, because you owe us 6. So now, thank you very much for that 4. Keep on working and get off this 2. But guess what? Every day you work, you're still making money. The little bitty 17. That's the record companies. Go make an album. Go work your ass off. Go perform all over the country. Sell the records by you doing performances. And until you pay off this money, you're not going to get a dime from us. And then when the record is old and they tell you time to make another album because you got to pay off that first one, then you're in the cycle. And after 4 or 5 years, you've given them millions, if not billions of dollars, and you're still looking for your first dollar. So that's the industry. You can't blame Spotify for that. That's the industry that we've been in since day one. Every one of us who are musicians, especially if you're a musician at my age, 63 years old, thankful I'm able to still play, sing, record, do what I do. I just did a song a week ago, and we just submitted it. And it'll probably get played somewhere, but I do music a different way. But anyway, I had a friend who's a musician, was in a band with me, and she asked the question, what's the best, what'd she say? What's the best crowdfunding platform to raise money to make an album? I said, be careful what you wish for. Because here's what she's getting ready to do. Because she ain't figured it out yet either. And this woman went to music school, 2 of them, right? But here's what they don't ever teach you in the music schools, and that's music business. You're getting ready to ask hardworking people to essentially fund your record project, of which you will never make any money, even if you're releasing it yourself. And you're on the hook for that money. Not for the money, but you're on the hook for whatever you're going to give them for giving you the money. Nobody's just going to give you the money. You have to have it. It's an altruistic platform. So when you give money, they say, if you, just like this product right here, I got some around my neck for a different company. It's a set of headsets, and the head thing sits on your temple right there. I put them on right now. That's what it looks like. I put it on, and then phone calls, music, and all that stuff is heard in the bone of my head right there, instead of on my ear where I can't hear what's going on around me. So I'm driving, running, I can listen to music and I can still hear everything going on, right? Bone conduction headphones, right? The company who created these used Kickstarter. So when you help them raise money, they sent you a pair of these. If you give them some more money, they give you 2 pair. If you give them some more money, they give you 2 pair and a t-shirt. That's how it works. But when you get done, this is made, they keep the money, and they sell them. Great deal. Doesn't work for music. It doesn't work for music. Because what happens is you get somebody to raise the money. Do I have any of those things? I still do. I got some of those things. Yeah, it's called CDs, right? Yeah, people don't use them anymore. But I remember 8-tracks. But you take a CD and you say, I want you to help me make this. But it's not a CD. Just help me make the stuff that goes on this CD. Now, because it's not a physical item, you can't sell it. All you can do is put it on a streaming platform, which is basically renting your music. So then somebody can take song number 3 and rent it, and then go get somebody else's album, song number 2, and rent it till they make their own playlist. What that is somebody cutting their own album with every artist around the country's music. That means there's no autonomy anymore, right? So the systems, starting with Napster, a long time ago, they set that up. Only difference is Napster was free, and they had a congressional hearing to stop them from giving away music, and they stopped. So what did they do? They started charging for it, and they started paying you, at least saying that you're getting paid. So 1/1000th of a penny is paid whether you like to pay or not. And since you aren't smart enough to come up with the actual number, not to mention in 1918, Congress set the rate for musicians to get royalties in 1918, when a loaf of bread cost a penny. It's the system. You can't complain about Spotify. Spotify is a vendor in a fucked up system. Period. Stop conversation, right? That's the problem. What's the reaction? Problem, reaction, solution. I said I was going to show you the problem. I was going to show you the reaction, then I'll show you the solution. Problem is, the problem is you got all of this music, subjective to who likes what, of course, but you got all this music, and it's all digital. It has no physicality to it, save what it took for you to actually produce it. Now they got AI. I can go on the AI platform right now and say, write me a pop song that's comparable to the top 5 #1 hits on the Billboard charts right now, and it will write that song. Then that song is mine. All I got to do is duplicate it, and I put it out. And it'll probably be a hit, because I listened to the CMA's live show last night on something. Anyway, I watched about 20 minutes of that. Every single song sounds the same. And the ones that don't sound exactly the same sound like hip hop, country. So hip hop that some of those country artists are performing a song, got hip hop dancers behind them. Why not? Why not? But don't forget, these are the same people who shit a chicken the first time Living Color, an all-black rock band, came out. They went crazy, just like they went crazy back in the 60s when what's his name? Charlie Pride came out. Charlie Pride's first album didn't even have his picture on it. All them country fans, white people, bought that record, didn't even know it was a black man. Once they realized it was a black man, they were like, oh. Didn't stop him though, because people were like, he's good. What are you gonna do? Right? So they stuck with it. But again, just because you see a few people make a few dollars comparatively, that doesn't mean that it's open season. Everybody gonna get in, gonna get paid. 90% of the people you see on television as rappers, musicians, singers, performers, actors, they ain't making no money. Because if they were, you wouldn't see them doing these $50 movies on Netflix. I just saw Al Pacino and Robert De Niro in some little cheesy movies that ain't nobody gonna ever see in a theater. Because they've run out of money. It don't take long. And the system is not designed to help you figure out what to do with the money that they give you. System is designed to be capitalist. Capitalist means it has to be a cutoff date where it doesn't work anymore. Boom. Then you got to do it again. Boom. Then you got to get up and do it again. Boom. Got to get up and do it again. That is how it works. That's why people work jobs. The job is not designed to make you rich. The job is designed to make the company rich. Same thing. It's the exact same thing. No different. How do I make money in the music business? Right? This is one solution. Can't say it's for everybody because it's not. I got really lucky. Most musicians get lucky. That's why musicians and actors and artists suffer so hard from imposter syndrome, because we know no matter how talented we are, we got lucky as hell. We know we got lucky. And luck is where preparation meets opportunity. So if you're not prepared, you're not going to get very lucky, right? Matter of fact, the harder I work, the luckier I get. But it still requires luck. It requires an enormous amount of luck, because somebody has to like you. Just like being a headhunter. Somebody got to like you got to like you, and you got to do some music that that person might like. And then when that one person decides that they like your music, this is from a record label, one person decides they like your music, and boom, you're suddenly a star, right? They'll make you rich, but suddenly you're a star. That's just how it works. That's the problem. That's the problem. The reaction is musicians getting all up in arms. For what? I don't know. None of them making no money. Who's complaining? During COVID, nobody was making money. During COVID, what did me, Elton John, the Beatles, not the Beatles, me, Elton John, Drake, Snoop, Lizzo, I mean, what did all of us have in common during COVID? None of us had a gig and couldn't get one. So then somebody figured out, well, how about just like DJ D-Nice, D-Nice is his name? D-Nice said, I'm going to go, everybody's sitting at home, can't go nowhere, can't go to a club. I'm a DJ. I ain't got no money because I can't go to a club. I can't set up my stuff. I'm going to set up my stuff in my house. Set up his stuff in his house on Instagram. And a dude would do 24-hour DJing. That takes some commitment. That's one of those just do it situations. I ain't got no money. Just do it. Ain't nobody got no gigs. Just do it. How am I going to do it 24 hours? Just do it. Why am I going to be different? Just do it. He did it. Now the dude has been on the Grammys. He's been on the Emmys, the Black Music, BT. He's been on everything because he did it. He found a niche of his own. Then everybody else tried it and they weren't quite as good. Or they were looked at as, copycats. There's nothing wrong with copying something that works. Musicians do it every day. Every song you hear on the radio sounds just like the last one. It's the way it is. All right, Tony. Good to see you, sweetheart. And I'm very, 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 again, publicly, I want to say I'm very, very happy for you and your newfound love. It's a beautiful thing. It's a wonderful thing. I like looking at it. I like seeing you smile, but more important, I like seeing him smile. That means you're being Tony. That's all I got. Have a good rest of the day, sweetheart. So, again, and right now it's 12:30. Nobody's come on but me and Tony. And Tony ain't even a musician. What does that tell you? Y'all some hard-headed motherfuckers, right? You think you know shit. We live in Minneapolis, St. Paul, the Twin Cities. Musicians all over the place. Nobody got no gigs. And the people who got gigs, they think they're doing something because they're making that $100 a gig. This company just paid me over $600 today. Today. So technically, I did 6 gigs without having to leave the house. And y'all talking about, come on now. And I know y'all think this whole thing is designed for me to peddle my business. No, I've been talking about my business for months. If you ain't in it now, you fail the IQ test. You work for me if you get in now. Instead of working with me, you work for me. So if you want to work for me, you can. There's a lot of money in it. Stay at home, make as much money as you want. Play when you feel like it. Like me, It's not about my business though. I'm gonna give you the solution as a musician. Come together. Come together. Nobody in this damn town should be still working for $100. Let me give you an example. When I used to live in Austin, Texas, first band I was ever in was called Fingerprint. Me, Morris Hayes, who ended up playing with Prince for a number of years. Me, Morris Hayes, Selden Cole, who currently plays bass with the Temptations, and Lino Reyes, may he rest in peace, who was the drummer for Rick James. All the Stone City Band, I met them all this year. They all knew Lino. All of us moved down to Austin and started a band called The Business with John Lockhart and Derek Edmondson. All of us got together and formed this band. We talked about it. We figured it out. We said, okay, we're going to move. We all moved down there. They helped us put an apartment together. Apartments, they got rehearsals. We rehearsed for like 3 or 4 days, and then we went and killed them, right? And our whole concept was the business of music, which is why we made money when everybody else was sitting at home. And the only time we didn't make money is when we didn't feel like making money. There were times when we had a big apartment. Me and Morris and Selden had a big, giant apartment. And Morris had a bedroom apartment with the bathroom in his bedroom, wet bar with a refrigerator, and a Murphy bed. Didn't even have to bring his own bed. Queen size Murphy bed in the wall, pull it out of the wall, put it up in the daytime. I had the same exact, and his own entrance on the end. I had the exact same apartment on the other end of the same apartment. Selden had the normal apartment bedroom in the middle with a bathroom right across the hall. 3-bedroom, 3-bath apartment. And we was paying it like it was useless. It was nothing. We were making so much money. And about once a month, I would clean up my room, right? After days and days of debauchery. Okay. So I would clean my room and I would lift because I never lifted my Murphy bed up. I just left my bed out because you never know. So I left my bed out. And one day in the month, I was going to clean my bedroom, and I raised my bed up to clean my room. And under that bed, over in the corner by where the nightstand was about $500 worth of 10s and 20s. Because I would come home from my gig late at night, take my money in my pocket, throw it on the bedside table. If somebody's with me, I'd take it out and throw it off and quickly get to what I'm doing. And when I cleaned up that one day, it was $500, just scrap money that was just laying. I'd forgotten it fell on the side. Didn't even know. That's how much money I was making in the year 1994. 1994, over 30 years ago. And people call themselves The Business to this day in Austin, Texas, and still making that same $100. It just don't go as far. And right now, I can go down to Bunkers on any Sunday night and see that same band make that same $60, $70, $80, $100 a gig. Is that their fault? You're damn right it's their fault, because the club is going to get whatever they can out of you. I don't care how long it takes. Period. Club owners been raping people forever and nobody say nothing. Well, I need a gig. Okay. If we stuck together, we had a live musicians union, they wouldn't be able to do that to us. And if you try to cross the lines, we took you down like other companies do that have unions. Right? Look at what's happening with the NFL right now. They're taking a page out of the NBA. NBA players run that league. NFL owners run that league. We have allowed music to be so dumbed down and so stupid that you can push a button and create a hit. So what are you going to do about that? What are you going to do about it? What are you going to start playing? Now, do you have to have a club owner to give you a gig to play? No, of course not. But think about this. I play in a band with some of the top musicians in the world. We play at one spot once every month or every so other month, whatever. And the club owner takes a percentage of our door, but they charge for food and drinks. We don't get none of it. That's ripping us off. And if I really cared about how much money I made when I did that gig, I'd say something about it. And I have said something about it, but you know, what am I gonna do? I don't run that band. I just play because it's fun. This makes me my living. But most of y'all, music makes your living. So there ain't no point in complaining if you ain't gonna do nothing about it. Because I'm giving you the solution. One, stop doing records unless you're gonna sell those records as a hard DVD or as a stream, as on a site. Make a website, right? And have all your music on that website and make it be, you know, password protected. And without a password that you pay for, you can't go on and buy any of my music. But when you go on there, you go on and buy the music, it's yours. They just paid you. And if you make it $10, that's more money than a musician with a record deal makes on 1,000 sales of an actual record. So that person, you know, gets a password, downloads the music, and gives it to everybody they know. All you gotta do is make sure you get it encrypted like Apple. You can't take Apple Music anywhere except Apple. I can't download a song from Apple Music and give it to somebody and put it on their Android. All you gotta do is study how they do it and do it the same. But the main thing is get out there and play, right? Don't ask somebody to give you a gig. Go create a gig. If you wanna do crowdfunding, get a crowdfunding together. Tell people, I'm gonna do a show. And I'm gonna do it. Okay, let me give you, no, I can't do that. I'm gonna do a show. And it's gonna be at, let's say, First Avenue. Now, First Avenue is gonna charge your arm and a leg just to get the building, right? Just for the building. So let's say they charge $5,000 for First Avenue. So then you want to raise about 20 grand. Because you take that 5 grand, you pay First Avenue. You take that 15,000, you pay your band. And then you charge at the door. And you have t-shirts, hats, everything, selling all that stuff. Live stream the show for people who can't make it. Because one thing that Gsharp in the business used to do all the time, and everybody knows it, I had a website. If you want to come to my show, you can buy tickets for cheaper than when you walk up to the door. I did that before anybody. People were paying to go to my show and not go. You can't make that money if you're charging people tickets, handing money at the door. I remember one night I had 30 people pay for tickets to come see us play. And it rained that night. Not even a big major storm. It just rained. We're talking about grown folks. Grown folks don't like to leave the house if it's raining. Their knees be hurting. I'm just saying. It's ways to fix this, but you got to do some work. You can't sit back, right? You can't sit back. You got to do some work. Just do it. You probably wonder why I'm saying it like that. There's an old video about a guy talking about just do it. But it's right. Losers find every excuse to lose. And you're so used to losing, you don't know when you're winning. I get paid every quarter. How about you? It might be $1. I'm happy as hell. I just got a commission check today for $1.13. Not from music, but from a monthly dividend from my business that I make just for being in the business. And as the business grows, I make more money. And that was just one piece of it. The big piece of it is coming the end of the month. But $1, happy as hell. Why? Because I didn't do nothing to make it. Nothing. Nothing. No thing. I'm used to that. I'm going here and pull out 10 checks. At least 10 checks right here. ASCAP checks. For doing nothing. Some music I wrote 20 years ago. Some of them I wrote 5 years ago. Some of them I wrote yesterday. The song I did a couple of days ago, that song gonna make me some money. I can guarantee it. And if it doesn't, it's okay because all the other ones still making me money too. Guys, there are solutions to these problems. You think Snoop is really worried about his streaming? Snoop ain't did a record in forever. He just wants to make his publishing royalties. I get it. But hey, do you own your publishing? Do you own your masters? Well, you need to own your master. You don't even know what a master is if that's what you think is going to fix the problem. No. A master just means you own the rights to the physical song that you did. It don't mean you own any publishing. Doesn't mean anything. Learn the business of music first. Understand why you were not designed to win in that game, and then find your own niche and get in it and win. Several of us are making okay money as musicians without leaving our house. Some of us are going to be smart and say, you know what? He's right. I need to start my band back up. I'm a bad musician. I can play. I'm going to start my band back up. I don't care if I have to do shows in my backyard. Be done by 10 o'clock, noise ordinance. I'm going to get some money doing what I do. Little Richard never made a dime from his record company when he was young, starting out with Lucille and Long Tall Sally. He didn't make no money. But he had station wagons loaded full of cash because he was playing all over the place. And again, guys, don't be like these musicians that come out of these schools that figure the busy musician is their best musician. No. Ain't no way in the world I work 6 gigs and come home with $600. No. When I can do 1 gig and come home with 7. That's why you don't ever see me playing nowhere, because people know my rate. And I'm not lowering my rate for nobody. I don't care if I'm sleeping in a box. I'll be playing in my own box charging tickets. I will not lower my rate and standard because your ass ain't smart enough to come up with a budget to pay me. Period. That's why you don't see me nowhere. When you see me, I'm just hanging out maybe a little bit every now and then. But I stay clear of most of this nonsense because it rubs off on you. Loser mentality just rubs off on you like slime. Then it takes a while to wash it off. I've got solutions, guys. And since y'all didn't come, you knew I was going to record it. So I hope you watch it. And I hope you get an attitude and talk shit. Because people don't typically, very few people look at Gsharp and say, what do you think about Gsharp? Never hear that. You either, I love that dude, he's so blah, 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 or woke that motherfucker. That's for haters. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. It's 12:42. I'm on here about 10 minutes longer than I wanted to. With that, I'm going to get out. Talk to you guys later. And as always in parting, it's your boy G. Peace.